All right, welcome in to an episode of Coffee and Chel. We're going to see if we still remember how to do this. It's been like 20 days, and that's on me. You know what, folks? But I'm your host, Sleeves, joined by my two great co-hosts, Kesso and Padre. And yeah, you guys might have forgotten about us, but we didn't forget about you. So here we are at 10 p.m., two dads and a dad-to-be ready for bed, but we got to show up for the biggies. Kesso, how have you been over these last few weeks?
Dude, it's been a rough one, man. I'm dying over here. I'm in my semi-retirement phase from NHL, but last semester of my master's, so like it's like 14, 16 hours a day at my desk between like work and stuff, and then obviously having a family, you're making time for them. So I am dead, dude. I'm dead. I've been up since 4:30. It's now almost 10:30. But there's a light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm looking forward to that.
We love that. How about you, Stewie?
Yeah, it gets better, Kelsey. Don't worry. It's just once you get that sleep dialed in, that's all that matters is the sleep.
Yeah.
And then they sleep through the whole night. No, then they get down their nap schedule. It's all good though. But yeah, I've been
so
good.
exciting.
You can't wait. You get to learn all of it. It's
I can't
really
wait
fun.
to change my first poopy diaper, bro. Can we say
Oh,
poopy on
man.
YouTube? I don't think you can anymore.
Yeah, you can.
We're gonna
You can
find
Say
out.
poopy.
We're gonna find out. All right. It has been a very long time. All right. So we got a lot of things to cover. First of all, I did a lot of stuff, and we're gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
I
They'll
mean,
live
so,
vicariously through you.
yeah, we went, yeah. So I have traveled all over the eastern part of the United States over the last couple weeks. Well, so I guess we'll start with the All Star Open. I'd rather do this. All right, you guys have both watched pretty much every esports event that has been, a big cast, a live land, and all that stuff. How did the All Star Open look as a broadcast?
I don't think there were any issues with how it looked, right? Like
No.
on the broadcast at all. Definitely wasn't like a big event. You guys are in a tent, so which is kind of cool. The beach theme. I feel like people should have worn like the Hawaiian shirts or the beach shirts. I don't think that was being done. I would have liked to see some of the contestants embracing the theme, right?
The beach,
They
yeah.
tried. I think they
Yeah.
tried to, but they weren't allowed to.
Okay, maybe they weren't allowed.
Yeah, the
All right.
jersey. I know the jersey would be worn by the guys. I feel like we. It's funny we joked about this because I was gonna do that, but like that's like Grizz's thing, and like Grizz wasn't on that one. He's on the North American final and the World final and all of that. But the All Star one in the same series when he's not on, and like that's like his thing. So I'll tell you this though, like I had to wear. I asked if I could. I asked production like a week before, and I was like, "Hey, I'm not wearing a suit. It's too damn hot, and I don't want to do that, especially because it's like a more laid back thing." And they said, "Yeah, it was cool." So I get down there, and my idea was, I'll buy like a nice like all star shirt or something, like a polo or a jersey. I find out the day of that the merch store, because the merch place wasn't in the Fan Fest. And it was like it opened at 2, which is when we went live. And I'm like, oh, so my plans like out the window. I had like a true classic shirt on, so just a blank shirt. And I was like, that's fine. It looks fine. But we did those production one, and the sun was right on our back, and I'm like, I am gonna sweat right through this thing, and I'm gonna get memed for years about this. So
How was the smell in there? Because it had to be really hot.
it was fine. Like
Okay.
it was the whole side was open.
Okay.
Like the whole, like it was very not enclosed. But yeah, so I got a jersey, an all-star jersey. And I was like, I don't care how hot it is. I'll just rock this because I won't look stupid. Dude, I won't lie. I'll be pretty open and honest about this. I've never had to wear makeup on a broadcast. I had a ton on because it was so hot that, and I was going to wear a jersey. So the makeup artist like did a good job. It didn't look like I was wearing any. It didn't sweat. It was a little weird. I'm not a big makeup guy. But it was all right. Like I got right through it. It was, personally, I thought it was the best I had sounded as a play-by-play guy, and I felt really comfortable as like a semi-host because there's only two of us, and Carlin's
Mm.
so good. Like as far as like broadcasts go, like being a host is just so much more difficult than like literally everything else. So I have so much respect for like people that can do that because they got you guys don't hear, but it's like there's production here. You got to throw it a commercial. You got to remember like openings and like where you got to go and all this. We interviewed Barkov, and I was just crapping my pants. Like I was so like I was
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
nervous.
Yeah.
But no, it went really well. I was
There were some of those comments too. Like people were like, "Oh, you've improved." Like I think you're already good, but I think I saw a couple of those comments in the Twitch chat.
yeah, I felt pretty strong about it. And then like we had Duncan Deli and Padre. Like we were excited to see his first shot on land and see if he was as boisterous as he is online. And I think he delivered. It was a
Yeah,
great series.
he went nuts. I was bummed that I mean, I like uninstall, but I was bummed that he lost him just because I just wanted to see like him and Gren play each other because I thought it would be like really
That
funny
would have
and
been good because you don't ever see emotion out of Gren anymore.
yeah, like
And
no
I think
offense to
Deli could have
Pogues.
got some.
Yeah, like no offense to like Pogues and Gren, but like I think I don't know. Maybe it's just because I think I get a kick out of Deli, but I feel like it kind of like lost its luster. Like 'cause you're kind of like, oh, okay, they're playing each other again. Like they don't really do anything. They just sit there and like it was just like hilarious listening to like you like laugh and listening to Carlin like laugh and like even Carlin like she couldn't even care less who's there, but she I think she wanted Deli to win because it was so entertaining with him
Yeah,
just
like we
going nuts.
as a caster, like I know all these guys like personally now, so I have no real like desire to like like favorites or anything like that I'd rather
Right.
see win. But as a caster, it's way easier to make something out of someone who like freaks out and it has
Oh yeah.
emotion. It's the guys that just sit there. It's awfully and Duncan Deli just sat there too when he got like locked in when he's losing in game 2. He didn't make a
Yeah.
peep. And then he scored and like tied it, and he jumped up and down, and it was good. It was good. I thought overall the All Star Open, if they're trying to do, I know they like tying the World Championship events with like actual events, like they did with the finals last year at the draft. I don't know if they'll all come back. Like I'm about to go to the Stadium Series in 2 days, but the All Star one, I hope that stays because the Fan Fest was actually really cool. Now it's going to be in Toronto next year, so obviously it's not everyone walking around on the beach. It was hot, bro. I've been to Fort Lauderdale a couple times, and it was like 90 degrees, but it was just in a really good spot. I didn't know Fort Lauderdale was so nice. I thought it was like a
That's
port
nice.
town. I thought it was like an airport and a port town where like everyone goes on a cruise. You port on there because I've
Yeah.
been there for that. But no, it had a really long beach and everyone kind of stayed on the same strip. It was really good. It was one of my more fun trips that I've been on as an esports person or doing the broadcast. But we'll see. We had the two guys in the finals didn't actually win the it was Prestera and Bluin ended up not going and it ended up being Gren and
Oh yeah.
which it was just like of course, right? And what's funny? I think people forget about this. Gren's always in the finals, but he brought this up when we were interviewing him afterwards. That was like his first win since winning GWC in 2021. Like it had been a minute since he had actually won an event. So like that was like like he's back. I made this joke too. I was in Florida again for the Tampa Bay event, and Regs won that. And I thought that at the beginning of this, before the All Star Open, just how the game plays, and it's so random. And I was like, this is the year. Regs isn't playing as much. You don't see a lot of Grens, streaming as much, and you have all these new guys, and it's 2 events go by, and it's Regs and Gren who have won. It's like nothing's changed. It's
I heard from Delhi because I guess they had a little boating trip with Gamer Saloon. And,
they did. I was that stuff actually is funny. Like
I thought that was pretty nice of Gamer Saloon to rent him a boat for the day. But Delhi said, I guess Gren told him he's done streaming. I mean, but he could stream tomorrow.
a lot. Yeah, I think a lot.
You know how he said that he's done streaming, and I don't really understand it because I feel like there's not a lot to like. He's done streaming because Regs doesn't stream and he wins everything, he said. So he's going to try to do what Regs did. I'm like, I just don't think there's much to it. Like, there's not enough strategies in this game and stuff to like, oh, he's doing that. Like, I'm going to pick it out. Like, especially since they all scrim each other all the time. But apparently he's done streaming. That's what I heard from Delhi.
I don't know, man. Like it's funny because if that's like the goal and like that's what like that's your main thing. I think I talked to Eki about this. Like I think that Eki struggles with it too because it's not that bad, but everyone your stuff what you're doing is so out in the open that like maybe I don't know if he's grinding out off stream and whatnot, especially if you're not enjoying streaming too. I don't know.
No, if you're not enjoying it, I get it. You know what I mean? If you're not, I just thought for like competitive wise, it's like. I don't know. I mean, there's just not a ton.
I agree too. I think I've been a big proponent. I was the one that just kind of banged the drum to get them to start streaming in the first place years ago. Because if you're that good at the game, like dude, like I'm not very, especially this year, not very good. And it's like, dude, you have such an advantage over me because you're just good, right? So, but no, it was good to see. Gren came through, and he's such a different guy now. I think that when he was a 16-year-old, there was all that controversy, and he was, kind of a loudmouth, and but it's weird. I mean, it feels like I've watched him grow up because over the last 5 years, I've been at every event that like he's been at, and every year you
Mhm.
see him, and it's like it's years in between or months in between and whatnot. But now he's just very mellow. And you don't see him because he's not on stream. So I don't know. He's a lot different now, but it's good seeing Polgs and Uninstall. Shout out to Uninstall's dad, man. That guy's awesome. Uninstall's mom, I got to meet at the draft last year. He brought her, and in the All Star Open, he brought his dad, and his dad is just like a classic dad. Like I don't know how else to describe, but he was just a good guy. So it was nice to meet him. I got to do a lot of stuff, boys. I can't hang anymore. I went out Friday night with a couple people. It was a late one, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Dude, the next day, nothing. Like I could not leave my room. Went to the skills competition though. It was just as lame in person as it was
It
on
was that
TV.
bad in person.
Yeah, man. Like I thought a lot about this since going. The whole Zegras thing and what he did last year was cool, and it went over the top. But now it's like all of them do it, and I kind of miss. So I think back to like because I used to like watching the skills competition when I was a kid, and we talk about this all the time about nostalgia. Kind of clouds like the favoritism of it. But I miss when the players tried, like.
Yeah.
Every event was a skill event that you had to perform at the highest skill to win, and yeah, like I don't know, like the breakaway one was lame. Like I miss when it was just the best players trying to just deke out the goaltender and try to make it a little bit flashy. And I remember the long passing ones. Like, do you remember the one? There's always new variations of it, but I remember when I remember Nabokov did it, I think, in the All-Star game. They had to sauce, like, from their end over, like, a thing and into the net, and there was, like, 3 stages to it. I don't know. It was just impressive seeing, like, those kinds of things done. And then the puck handling one. I remember when you had to go through the pylons. Like,
Yeah, dude, it's crazy? They still do that in the AHL.
oh,
Like,
the
I
AHL
saw
one was
something.
nuts, it looked like.
Yeah, that's still good. Like, dude, it's the All-Star, like, or the skills competition's so bad now. And I don't want to watch somebody like golf or whatever, like that they recorded a day ago. Like, and I'm sure, like, as a fan, like at the thing, you guys are just watching the Jumbotron, right?
Yeah, so in the event, like the golf one, we were I watched it. It was the fans watched at the fan fest on the beach where we were, they did the dunk one, and that one actually, like if you would have watched that one live, was probably really fun. The golf one you couldn't watch because it has a closed golf course. But like McCarr dunking at Adam Fox from hitting the bill, like I thought that was kind of funny because it's like, you get like the personalities of the players a little bit, and they're actually like shooting a puck into something. But yeah, the golf one is they're trying too much to make it not like a joke but like fun. But I think when you have too much of it, it's kind of cringy. Like
Oh yeah.
that's just the sense that I'm getting, and I hope they go back to it. I was listening to I think it was Chicklets. Biz brought up a point where it was like, have every winner get $100,000, and it was like of a skills competition. So I think the winners get $1 million, like the winning team, and I think Whitney was talking about this. He was like, you ever notice in the first game of the actual game? So like we're talking about the skills competition, but the game where the winning division gets $1 million split among 8 guys or whatever, right? In the first game, it's like they know that if they lose, they can get undressed, get changed, and be on the plane by like 6 p.m. home. But if they win, the second game is always pretty good because they're close. Like they've already got to play another game and $1 million in line. And the second game was pretty sick. So like like it's something to think about. Like what if they instead of they go back to the East versus West, like go back to the full East versus West. Because you're missing players because certain teams have too many good players, Like, I think that you're missing players when you could get more of the appropriate representation of the top end players in the league with the East versus West. But like, imagine every skill winner had $100,000 on the line. Like, like I think that you would go. If you're already there and you can.
Yeah,
win
there's some people that
100,000.
are hyper competitive.
Mhm.
I also think like the NFL this year did the flag football game.
Yeah.
Which actually was like well received, and I was kind of surprised because like I was thinking like I don't want to watch that. I know there's injury risks. I know this would never happen, but like a ball hockey or like roller hockey, like all-star game instead would probably be better than what we saw.
There was I mean, it was probably a Nasher tweet, but like there was an
Oh,
outdoor
I
game
saw that.
gonna be at like in Florida, which after being there the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't know how you do that. But they did it in California, but I think it's a little bit more of a less humid temperature.
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, like what if they just did like a roll like on roller, like, but
Yeah,
dude, the chance for
dude, could you imagine the?
Dude, those
oh
guys
my
don't know how
god,
to stop on
yeah,
rollerblades.
exactly. These guys
It's
try
a
to
whole
stop on
different type
rollers.
of
Oh my
it's a whole
god.
different type of stop. I don't know. I think they need to go back to the old school stuff, kind of like Kesso said
Or
that
World
they're
versus
doing
North
in the
America. Remember
NHL,
those?
and then they need to do a team draft
You
because
like the team draft?
yeah, because the NBA does it, and just because you hurt some guy's feelings, like who cares? Like I
Yeah,
was
that's the weird thing. Like Padre, I didn't
Kessel thing was
understand that.
funny.
That was
Yeah,
the thing. It's like, well, somebody has to be picked last. How is that a detriment to doing it?
They get a
yeah,
car.
yeah.
I
I
remember
don't
the
know.
one
I
year
don't
Ovechkin
think.
wanted to, so he can give to his mom. You remember that?
Yeah, I just think they need to like go back to what like, was fine. I guess. I mean, it's never going to be amazing, right? I mean, it's an
No,
All
it's
Star
not.
game.
I think that this is a low, like I said, in
This
person.
was cringy. Ever since they've been on ESPN, this like I feel like ever since ESPN's got involved, it's just gotten so cringy. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know. I don't know.
telecast, broadcast. I was just talking about that. We were talking about this earlier. We were in Discord like 2 hours ago. We were watching the Blues and the Panthers tonight on ESPN. It's just like, besides the sound effects, I don't really like anything on ESPN.
I
Besides, I think it's
like I
Arda.
like Arda.
Our boy
I like watching
Arda.
Arda. Yeah, I love watching Arda. I think he's super good, and that might just be like a personal thing. But I think he's so good that like I like that. But yeah, like they're it's funny because like ESPN when they brought back like the music and like the sound, even like the
Yeah.
graphics are like old school. It's like but their broadcast style and everything like that is completely not like old school.
TNT's awesome. I don't know if you get
I
that in Canada.
TNT is very hockey culture,
Yeah,
which I
well,
think
because
.
Biz helps a lot.
Yeah, and I think the NHL like is not like I mean they're a little bit better with Biz I think now like than they were
Oh,
years ago.
he's changed. He's changed the
He is
time.
toned way down. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
you
Spin
can tell
Chicklets
that
now
he's yeah.
with the money that they're making off Pink Whitney and now the Big Deal Brewing and all that stuff. Like they even Wit and all that. I mean, it's not the same. I mean, Biz was going into like graphic detail of things he would do with girls back in the day in
Yes,
the beginning
yeah,
episodes, and now he's like they just talk pretty much like hockey,
yeah,
gambling, and that's about it. I mean, it's just not the same like type of podcast. I
yeah.
just think TNT's awesome. I enjoy it. I kind of hope they add like Bruce Boudreau to it since Tockett's in, and for him, I think that'd be kind of
Imagine
cool.
that like that would be hilarious. If they
He's
did
funny
that.
too, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, see, yeah, like I enjoy the All Star Weekend. I thought that the event, the actual esports event was fun. And then the skills competition, but the venue was sick. It's gonna be in Toronto next year. Being from here, the travel is way better. if the GWC or the NHL World Championships happens there, I'm selfishly that's pretty sweet. It's a train ride instead of a plane ride and all of that. So. All right, so let's talk about some hockey ultimate team. I know Kesso has not partaken in a lot of hockey ultimate team, but to be honest, either have I because I have been gone more than I have been home in February. And Padre, how much? What are you playing now in Hut like weekly?
I just do my 20 games and I get off. I
What are
don't
you doing for? What are you doing them for? Just the collectibles, and then like what are you
just
using the
to,
collectibles
just to
for?
like keep my team up for GWC. I mean, I'm not gonna win GWC, but I just know if I can't spend money, but if I don't spend money, I know I got to keep playing like once, a few times a week and just I don't know. I mean, I was talking about this with Kessa this morning. I feel like it's like COVID. I know it's not people aren't dying, but I feel like you sit here and you're just hoping for we need something. We need a cure. We need to get through this. We
Oh
need
my
like this is
god, that's a
this
hell
is
of a.
this is
Okay,
so this
I
is
was like,
so
where are
brutal.
you going with this,
No,
bro?
trust me. I know it's an extreme, but
No, I
it's like
got
it's
you.
got the
I
same like
got it.
mindset where it's just like you're just waiting for a change. You're waiting for a guy from EA to come out and talk. You're waiting for a video. I just anything where it
Hope.
just
You're waiting for hope.
just hope. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Like I said, trust me. Everybody in the comments, kill me all you want. I'm not trying to be that extreme. I'm not
No,
trying to
I
compare.
understood the reference.
I'm
That
just
makes
like
sense.
I just feel like it's just monotony, and you're just like hoping for something, and it's just very I don't know. I mean, I love hockey and I like the game and I like doing the podcast with you guys and I like talking to people in the community about the game and we all have buddies in the community. It's just a shame that I don't know. It's just every week. I will give EA Hawk, and I think you guys said Moose is his name. I'll give them credit. I mean, they've kept on their game this year. That's been the one bright spot I feel like is the content.
Yo, let's talk about that real quick. So, okay, so I don't know
Yeah.
how up to date you are on the last event, but
I have the next gen
the
cards
next gen
open.
event, in my opinion, was like the best. Remember last year we just ragged on Eric Brandstrom from the 16-bit event. Like that was our
Oh, yeah.
running joke the whole year because the master set players didn't make sense. It was like they were fitting in, oh, we need a right defenseman and we haven't picked Ottawa and we don't have an Ottawa player yet as a master set player. So bang, that's him. I feel like they've done a much better job. I think the next gen event was awesome. It was the first event where they just ignored positions and they went, these are the best next gen players for the most part and were like exciting players, and a lot of them didn't have headshots. I was waiting for this event for a while because I knew there would have to be an event to make up for the lack of headshots, like with Owen Power is like the famous one, or Beniers, and it finally came. And I thought that it was exciting. All the players they picked were like young, like cool players. I would love to see this event at the beginning of the year, but I thought that strong master set choice. No.
Yeah. I mean, the strong master set choice. All the cards. So this is an issue. All the cards are really good, right? They're all 93 overall. One's like what 6'6" with gold stick 'em up.
Multiple 6'6".
Well, so at some point though, like these cards, there's no difference between them. They're all good.
It's weight, yes, yeah,
They're all so good. So like it's hard for I can't get excited about this
Okay.
because it's like okay, well I have Victor Hedman that has stick 'em up that's like 6'6", right? I have a team of the year player like we just have so many cards in this game. So like how am I if I was a fan of one of these guys, like the Penguins don't have any good young players. We won't for a long time. If I was a fan of one of these guys, like I'd be excited. But dude, it's just the same thing. It's just a lot of good cards.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, this is like a depressing look at it.
No.
It's just a lot of good
Okay,
cards.
let me ask you this in a better way to ask is because I think that brings up a bigger issue with the game and just the mass amount of cards added every day. But like in terms of just the master set players selected, it was a W, like a win.
Yeah, dude, they're crushing it. Hawk and Moose have it mastered to where it's like they know what a good card is.
Yeah.
Whenever they get the selections right, like they did with this event, like it's like a perfect match. They're limited with what the game is. They're crushing it. Like I think they've done an amazing job.
What about you, Stu? Any of the guys? I know that you're big on you always super analyze which players you're gonna make.
Still haven't made any because I don't know what to do.
I knew it. I knew it.
Played PlayStation and I played Xbox. This is a whole other topic, but I played Xbox this weekend and the bumps. I really noticed the difference with the bumps on there, and I feel like on PlayStation you can't hit as well. And guys like that have truculence, like Sanderson, I feel like hit. Like you need almost like truculence on PlayStation to hit. So I keep going back and forth, like with building that Simon Edmondson because he's got the stick 'em up, kind of like I said. I will agree with like kind of what he said though. It's kind of crazy. Like he's kind of like Hedman. Sanderson, you could say he's like a better Farabee.
Yeah, I think he's an upgraded version over Farabee. I think
Yeah,
that's
and
like
the forwards, it's like I don't know. They're all I don't know.
I thought that.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're all. I haven't tried any of that. I haven't really put a lot of thought into trying them because it's so tough for me to like get like Slavkovsky because it's like okay, he's not going to overplay McDavid. If I have Matthews on the wing, like I'm one of the few people that does that just because I feel like he can't want to freaking draw now against Holik and Beagle and yada 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 down the list of guys.
What a format, because like I think that this is an event where they're not like picking random players. It's like the exciting guys, right? Like I feel like everyone gets excited about rookies, right? I think that because like those are the exciting new players. Like Bedard is going to be the next gen next year. We'll have Connor Bedard in it because he'll be in the NHL as a San Jose Shark. And I hope that they do this event at the beginning. But it brings up another thing. Like I feel like the reason why they don't do it at the beginning of the year is because they cap them at 89 and they want these guys to have a little bit more longevity. Would making master, because they already allow us, this is the first year, I think this is something that isn't brought up a lot about the content, which a good part is that you can go back at no discount or no more expensive price and make all of the master set players from prior events. Last year you could do that, but it was like double the cost. It was absurd. But this year it's the same price, which is I thought was pretty cool. But would you like to see every month on the first of the month they go up by a +1, like they unlock the next year? Do you think that would kill events though, like future events? Because that I could see that being the argument from them, from their perspective. From us, it only makes sense.
I guess that's the argument against it, right? Like, because this is something that I think is for like the betterment of the game. Like, I could see Hawk and Moose wanting to do this, like to make if this came out in October, and Bedard was 89 overall every month, he went up +1.
You have to
I could see
pay,
them.
like you have to
Yeah,
pay,
yeah,
like you would
yeah.
a
It's
power
like a
bicon.
power up collectible, but you would just be making the old event collectibles,
Yes.
whatever it is. The only negative is that it ruins future events, right?
Yeah, because if
That's
you
the only
release a
negative.
banger couple cards,
Yeah,
like
but
Mackenzie Weegar could have had a lot more
but it
longevity.
also fixes a huge issue in the game, and that's I haven't made any event cards this year, right? Besides the Shea Weber, everybody waits for Team of the Year, Team of the Season. So if these are upgradable, maybe you see people making more MSPs of their favorite players because they can use them for the whole year.
What made you make Weber? I don't even think we talked about the All-Star game thing.
Oh
Maybe.
no, we didn't, because that I
Weber
was
has
just
truck. Weber is Weber and Jake Sanderson are the upgraded version of Uyghur and Farabee.
I'm going to make Sanderson right now.
I would. Well, I mean, like like Sanderson's safe too.
Hey, can I say this? This game's so I don't want to say so bad. Sorry, I'm about to get it. This game is so booty that I just love running around and hitting people with truculence. I feel like if you guys are gonna make it arcadey, just go NHL hits. Just bring it back. Just go ahead.
Yeah, like I think truculence. I think the problem is that truculence is just such an like when you compare other abilities, right? Like.
Dude, they get shot from the 300 section after they get hit. They're laying on the ice, like sitting there.
I love hitting people with truculence.
It's so much fun.
That's like one of the few fun things, right? But like, so we were talking about like the players in this.
Yeah.
You got two wingers with gold elite edges. You have one with like unstoppable.
Oh,
force.
they have the same 4 lockdown.
What?
Like,
What is at some point? What? These are all the same besides like the name on the player.
Yeah, like I feel like if it wasn't. I feel like the benefit of our content guys now is that they grind the game. Like Hawk and Moose play the game a ton, so they're very like aware of what makes a good card, and they know now. Like we've had 2 years of this now, like of X factors. They know the good X factors.
And Hawk sits in like streams and he talks to kids in the community and he talks to people and like I give him credit for that. He gives he gives people the time of day to like share what they like and dislike, and I feel like. Even if he doesn't like maybe listen to exactly what everyone says, at least he like listens a little bit, and I think he takes that into account.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's on the gameplay team to do something about this, like, cause you know what I mean. Like if next year comes, there's 50 X factors. There's got to be ways to improve other X factor abilities that to make them more effective. I would think like snipe and make it snappy. I need to know what they do. And also, okay, we're going to bring, God, the amount of MLB that we're probably going to talk about over the next, just because it's like, yo, well, MLB did this. And it's going to be really annoying for people that don't like MLB. But the gameplay trailer just dropped, okay? And one of the things that they got criticized last year was they didn't explain what certain attributes do. And I just started laughing because, like, dude, I make a living off this game. And I could not tell you what constitutes a snapshot in terms of attributes that go into what a snapshot is, because that is technically not in an attribute tree. It is wrist shot and slap shot. So you would think it's wrist shot, but the game has a separate shot that you register as a wrist shot. So what does it take into account? Is there something? What does balance, strength, and everything else do? There's things that you would guess that it would do, but what is it actually? Like, there's none of that. Like, you have no idea. So they went in and they're explaining what these changes that they're doing to these attributes, and it just made sense. And I was just like, God, like, I want a developer to show me an example of puck on a string, or snipe,
ankle breaker, or
ankle
something.
breaker.
Yeah.
You show me someone using that effectively, and then I will be like, okay, all right.
Off the rush, I'm like looking at these right now.
Dude,
and it's
off
like,
the rush doesn't. Dude, me and Kessa. Oh God, it's gonna drop me. Okay.
What about relentless?
Bro,
Relentless.
last year, me and Kesso sat in a Discord call, and we went into the practice mode, and we tried to get off the rush to work, and it doesn't activate. every single time off the rush. You have to be in a certain section of the ice, and even then, it doesn't always activate.
Yeah, it was bad. It was
Dude, it was
bad.
absurd, bro. We couldn't get it to work, and we tried it in the. I know I did, and I did in the alpha. And it's the same thing. Off the rush does not work. Off the rush should be the only way you can get the goal line goal to work. That is how off the rush should work. So, for anyone that doesn't know what the goal line goal is, where you come down and on the circle of the face-off dot at the near the goal line, you snapshot it upstairs, you wrist shot it upstairs, short side. That shouldn't go in by just shooting. You need to have someone that is off the rush and just tease off on one from there. That's how it should go. But it doesn't, and it is what it is. But yeah, so I'll say, like, from my personal standpoint on the next gen event, I was really excited for it because I was waiting for Owen Power, and we got one, and I knew what they would do. They were so safe with him. They were so safe with Owen Power. They didn't give him truculence. They didn't give him stick 'em up. They did give him Silver Shutdown, and I think Silver Shutdown is good. It just doesn't activate all the time in your own zone, but it does activate more than just off the rush. But then and he's only got 91 speed and 92 acceleration, or vice versa. So, but yeah, like Boldy, I know a lot of people are waiting for Boldy, Ken Johnson, Beniers, all of them. So, and Bedard. So, I thought that the player selection was cool, and all of the abilities were normally what we would expect on.
I might make power. I might make power too.
Power has the also. This was brought up too in my comment section. I feel like I'm going to talk about this a lot over the next MSPs. Is that team of the season's coming, and it's if a team of the season in prior years has an MSP from a prior event, it's a discount. Sanderson, in my video, I was like, Sanderson is second in defenseman for rookies, he's probably going to get team of the season, but he just went on IR. Power's only 2 points back of him, third among defensemen in scoring rookies, so he's going to pass him. So Power's I would say a fairly strong chance to get team of the year or team of the season, unless they can't figure out a headshot thing and they don't include him because of that, or they're just like, oh, he didn't make the cut, when it's just bull. But so I'm hoping. But Power, that was my tiebreaker. Was okay. He's gonna get a team of the season more than likely. So Edvinsson won't, and I think that
first JJ Moser for defense.
Kalen Hassan, bro, by like.
Oh yeah, because he considered him. I forget because he played last year, so I forget.
Minnesota always has those guys like Kaprizov, Boldy, like, you know what I mean. Like, they always have guys that like.
Well, I just forgot that he's still considered a rookie, but JJ Moser for Arizona's cooking this year too a little bit.
He cooled way off.
He's not a rookie. He's a rookie because he played like 40 some odd games last year. I forgot. Never mind.
No, I think he is. I think Moser.
He was just in the same draft.
No, it was Michelli, that random rookie.
I'm wrong. Don't listen to me.
Yeah. But yeah, so then the next event is probably not going to be as exciting unless they have like crazier players. I think the actual in-game players for the next gen event, not all super powered. There's a few good ones. I think the defensemen are great, and I think Slavkovsky's good. Also, real quick about Slavkovsky, I think that there is a benefit to having players that are big and decent attributes, and if you wiped out their abilities, that's a benefit, because at some point, let's say you make Slavkovsky on no money spent, and you activate whatever abilities, I think it's close quarters, whatever abilities he has on him, but you know that better cards are coming out, and as they fall down in your lineup, you're going to not activate them. There's cards that MSPs that come out that are only sick because they have certain abilities. Mackenzie Weegar is a perfect example. Mackenzie Weegar is a very, very mediocre defenseman in game if you don't have truculence activated. So there is something to having a very good player like Slavkovsky when you don't have any abilities activated that's still useful. So I think that there's something to that. But all right, so on to the next thing. The Chel Challenge in the Islanders event. What kind of shows in? I went to those. So these were the first like big club events. They were the winners of these events got to represent. Well, actually, technically, yeah, no, they did get to represent those teams in the NHL 23 World Championships a little bit later on. They don't have to do the open play, so they big benefit there. The Chel Challenge is a huge prize pool. It's like $7,500, I think, $6,000 to first. And it's one of the more fun ones because there's always they bring 2 EUs over and then 2 North Americans. So Regs and Own the Blue came, and this is the first LAN event we got to see Own the Blue, who is like been talked about for like 3 years now. Just seemingly, it felt like he would never get old
Dude,
enough.
how different does he look now? Like
It's
he hit
weird,
puberty or
man.
something
He's
like that. Dude, he used to be like 3 foot tall.
Yeah,
Now
he's
he's
a
like a
tall
grown
boy.
man.
He's a tall boy. I met him and his dad. I went out for lunch with them. Very very nice kid. And again, it's fun meeting. I always have more fun meeting the parents because you see
Yeah.
these guys. They're not like they were never like, yeah, my kid's gonna compete in video games. They have no idea what's going on. They're along for the ride. Their kid just got them a free trip to Florida. You know, like it's funny watching the
Yeah.
parents because they're always so proud, and I always enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, I'm happy for on the blue. He deserves it. He's
Yeah,
been so
exactly.
good for
He's
so
been,
long.
dude. Remember when he beat Saphir in like NHL 20 and he was
And
14 and he lit it
Saphir
like,
got
dude,
him banned.
dude.
I
I
can't
mean, like
believe
he
Remember
would
he
have
his,
did.
gotten
remember
banned no
his,
matter what. He could have knocked out
remember,
more people and he would have
remember,
eventually been banned.
remember his dad was like arguing with people
Yeah,
on
he tried
Twitter.
to get.
It
He
was
tried to get a. He tried, dude. They tried everything. They tried to like fake his license or
so
whatever.
funny. His dad was like screaming at people on a Twitter account. It was the
It
funniest
was
thing
nuts,
ever.
man. So yeah, and then Regs came. Regs had a disappointing All Star Open. Lost to Duncan Deli, and it was the first time where I was like, oh my god, man, like he might not have it this year. And then, of course, ever since that loss to Duncan Deli, I talked to Regs. I spent the whole weekend with him because he went to New York too. Ever since that loss, he won the IIHF Team Canada thing. He won the Stadium Series, and he won Tampa. So he was like, dude, Duncan Deli beating me was the best possible scenario because I was just coasting way too hard. And now the alien is like dialed in, like he's beamed back up to the spaceship. So,
Well, especially when you get reminded every day on Twitter by Del.
oh yeah, absolutely for sure. But yeah, so the Chel challenge was no Eki. And we got to see that Sisu guy, kid who's 16, beat Eki in a LAN event and then qualified for the Tampa event, which is not easy. The Tampa LAN event is one of the hardest tournaments to win because it's like only one person goes and you go through everybody. So it's very difficult. Sisu wins that, and then he comes over here, and it was just like crazy. It was like him and Odin the Blue. It was like, dude, two new prodigies. But he had a disappointing series against someone named Real Tough, who I don't know, but I guess he has almost been in GWC a couple times. Again, like if you're North American, you don't see a lot of these European guys. You never play them, and if they don't make GWC or win it, you don't ever hear about them. He played really well, but dude, I don't think like European 1v1. I can't wait to see how the European sixes versus NA sixes goes. It is always going to be so difficult for Europeans to be on the same level as NA, I think, just because of the level of competition at all times. Like, I think Division 1 in Europe probably has, like, a lot of good players, but if you're in Division 1 in North America, like, every game is a gauntlet. And then every tournament, there's no, even your first round is going to be somewhat difficult. And I think that, like, maybe that plays into it. But yeah, Regs, and I feel bad for this guy because his first LAN, and he ends up going up against probably the best player in the world, and it did not. He got. I don't know if you saw this. This kid put Regs on a poster. One of the greatest goals I've ever seen scored against Regs. He even said that was the nastiest goal that he's ever given. It was like this spin move between the legs, and he pulled it off so clean that if he tried to do it 100 times. Like I bet he could only do it once. Like that was it, and it was against Regs, which was hilarious. But then that was a 1-0 lead, and then he scored 9. So like again, it like woke him up. Like so, Regs is still the GOAT. I don't know how people are gonna beat him unless it's a NHL 23 thing. And at some point, it's just gotta. I love Regs, man. I met him when he was 16, and he's the nicest kid, and now he's like older and he's funny, and dude, I travel a lot, bro. He flew to New York because the Isles GT team had an event where they wanted to have the Isles GT team there for the Islanders event. Flew to New York for Thursday. On Friday, flew to Orlando at 6 a.m. to compete in the Tampa Bay event. Then finished a school project thing he had, a 24-hour exam. Did that at 3 a.m. 6 a.m. flew back to the Islanders and then chilled there for the Islanders event, and then flew home the next day with me. I was just like, dude, like it's nuts. Like I don't know how the kid does it. Like he's in university. Like it's nuts. I don't know. He never ceases to amaze me. But do you think that we'll see a new different winner? Like, do you think this is the year that Regs probably won't win, just because of like the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the field. I am.
Do you think
Because
it's
like
him or Bren?
dude, we saw like that All-Star Open event. We
Oh,
saw two
Costera.
bad goals from uninstall
Oh, yeah,
against Duncan in the finals of that
I
series.
love uninstall, but that he benefited hard from the game.
Yeah, like I felt bad for Duncan. I thought he deserved that.
You hear
There were
that,
like
Duncan?
two. I know. I messaged him too, and I'm not the biggest fan of Duncan, but I like him for the game. I really do. Like
It's
I think
good.
he's a good guy. I do.
Yeah,
Um, but like, dude, that's bound to happen to Regs at some point, right?
it's got to.
He's just so good. It doesn't matter, but like it's gonna happen.
I mean, Duncan beat him, so he's human. But I can be honest with you, like he was playing the game of the bare minimum, kind of like what Padre's doing, and obviously a little bit different because he's like a prodigy. But still, like you could tell when like you let off the gas. Like I tell you guys this, or I've said this all the time. Though, like you want to be the best in the world at anything, you have to put in an exceptional amount of time. Like there's no way around it, right? And I know that like this game doesn't change much year over year, and you know, you guys are kind of testament to that. Like, you know, you guys have played less and less every year, and you're still some of the best players. But still, like at a certain point, there's kids that are playing like, you know, taking it seriously every day, and you know, at some
Yeah,
point, you
dude,
think that.
I see it every day, right?
Mhm.
There's 100 kids like better than me because they play it every day, and I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
I think the chase, like you know, the carrots closer, you
Yeah,
know, maybe like that has
yeah.
to be it. Like you know, it's and there's you know there's a lot of events and you know all but I don't know, it's wild. So, yeah, I mean, so I did the Bolts event. Always like casting that, and yeah, then the next morning I flew to New York and got to see the Owls GT team, and they did it from a place called Brookland, and it's like in the middle of Brooklyn. Really cool event space. Thought it was really fun. We got to do it like me and Grizz got to chill on a couch and just like cast the big ones. It was very informal, and it was more about so like the thing about like so Jordan runs the ILGT team, and he's always in the NHL esports space. He's always the one like doing something different. He's always chasing something different. And he focused less on like the stream and more on like in the gameplay and more on like the content and like the pictures and the coverage of the event and things like that. And I thought all of that was really cool. There'll be like a documentary thing, like a little video vignette of it that I'm pretty excited for. The pictures all look great, and then Risto ends up winning it, which is very interesting. So Risto, for anyone that doesn't know, he is kind of like what the ultimate what teams want in the GWC from the last few years. So he's from Montreal and he won the Florida Panthers club event. I think what was the year was that? What year did you do the Blues? 21?
20.
Yeah, because Kessler was Detroit.
21. 21,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he won that in 21, and the Panthers were really supportive. The last few years have been really supportive of him, signed him to be like their like you know gamer and all of that, and they actually had him come out to the All-Star event, and they had him follow around like with the camera crew and interview Barkov and other people at the event. Like it was a really good job. I was really impressed with the Florida Panthers and Jameson from the Panthers and all of that what they did with him. But now, you know, Risto wanted to compete. He lived in Montreal, which is not very far. He came with his buddy Boogie, who almost won. And he ended up winning. He ended up being HK, who just cannot get it done in the final game on a LAN. I love HK, but he just can't seem to win that last one. And Risto wins. Again, another guy like Deli. A lot of emotion. Maybe a little too much sometimes, but I like it. I'd rather have too much than none at all. And now he's the Islanders rep on new gen. Regs is the rep on old gen. So I don't know how that'll play out, but
Oh yeah, because they have to play each other at some point, right?
I think at like the final, like so, like the individual consoles have their own brackets. Like they each have 32. They each have 32 reps. So like every team has a rep on every console.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and then it like gets down to like, you know. Now the club events they're all new gen, right? Except
But there's a
for
main rep though, because it's like
it's kind of confusing. It is a
wait,
little confusing.
how have I followed this tournament the whole time and I'm just realizing this?
So like Regs is an old gen player, and because he won Stadium Series or qualified for he's one of the 4 players. He picked the Islanders, so he got them on old gen. Whereas all the actual in-person club events or the online ones for that specific club, they're all new gen. So technically, you see how like it worked
So
out.
could two people represent the Islanders in like the live finals?
Technically, like if they got all the way down to the end, now at some point they'll be cross console, like Xbox and PlayStation will play, but it's not cross gen, right? So the there'll be an Xbox One representative. Actually, I think there'll be an Xbox One representative on for the Islanders, and there'll be a PS4 representative on the Islanders, and they'll play each other at some point if they made it all the way there. You could technically have more than one. I think in the final four.
Well, there's 4 reps technically for. Like, does that make sense?
Wait,
I don't know.
dude, I hope you know I'm not, me and Padre aren't pulling your chain.
I know, dude.
This-
It's just as confusing to me, and I could be wrong. It is very. It is not a flushed out thing, and they wanted to have all the teams like included in tournaments and whatnot, but it's not very flushed out. But yeah, like so, like because they had to do old gen consoles, like so for anyone that doesn't know, like the open play, that's gonna happen where like in a hockey ultimate team you can compete and like the top 32 people or however many depending on the console you're on will get randomly placed against one of the already existing club winners. So let's take Risto. Risto is the Xbox Series X Isles representative. On Xbox Series X, there will be like let's say 28 or however many open players that qualify. They'll get one of those random kids that qualify will end up going up against Risto in a best of 3, and the winner of that will be the Islanders club rep.
You know what? I think that is right because I think there also is going to be a PS5 Islanders rep too because it's I don't know how many.
That'll be by open play though. Like that'll be via open play.
That'll be by open play, right? So there's going to be 2. There's each team's gonna have 4 reps.
Yeah.
At the start. So that's basically what I was saying. I guess.
Every console has the chance to be repped by a player. A lot of them are going to be. Almost all of them are. Well, I mean, there's only 32 events, right? So like, there's 32. 100, however many that is, right? Like, it's very confusing. And we'll try our best to give you the updates here on my website on HudHub. There's actually Tris made a actually interactive like winners list that shows you the team and the representative. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a fun event. And now next up, I've got the Stadium Series on Thursday. Dude, the venue for this thing, it's a transport truck that transforms like Optimus Prime into like multiple levels. And there's like a stage room. Like I don't know how this is gonna work, but I'm kind of excited. It looks really cool, but it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm excited to go to the Stadium Series. I've never been to a Stadium Series game. But yeah, and then it's done for a while. Like then the open play happens and all the rest of the club events happen. But did you guys see the Stadium Series like venue thing? Did you see the picture?
I'll be running the Pittsburgh Challenge out of my Nissan Sentra next week. So
Let's go,
you guys are
dude.
welcome to come.
What day do you go to Carolina?
Thursday.
So Thursday night, you should try to go to the game. They play
is Thursday the game?
No, they play Montreal, but PNC Arena. It's right next to the stadium where NC State
I would
plays.
love to see a game.
Like you could throw a football pretty much from like parking lot to parking lot.
I would love to see a game
right
in
next to each
Carolina,
other.
like in the Hurricanes arena.
Yeah, and they're nasty. Yeah,
I
that's
think my flight gets in a little too late though. Maybe it's like 6:10.
Yeah, maybe.
The 7 p.m. start.
Yeah, 7 p.m. start. Well, actually, you'd be fine. I don't think it's that far away. I don't know. It just depends, I guess, if they get you hooked up or not.
Yeah, I'd have a car service.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. That'd be kind of cool, but yeah, probably not enough time. Damn, I didn't even think of that. So yeah, I think the event is on Friday, the day before. I'm exhausted. I want to be at home.
That's in 2 days, right? Or 3 days?
Every Thursday I've left. Actually, the All-Star was Wednesday. So like that's I'm tired as we go. All right, let's we have like 12 minutes left. There was Keza, you're not really enjoying the game and you're on the outs. Give me one thing that they would throw in that they would see that would bring you back for 24.
A salary cap mode. Listen, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, Sleeves. I am so on the outs that I enjoy talking with you guys on
like
here.
The salary cap mode. Why is that? Why would that be more enticing to you than some other things? Like, why is that one
Because
that
it's
you end
what
up getting?
I want. Because it's what I personally want. Like, there's actually team building strategy, but
Among the
it,
competitive players?
among the competitive players, right? But we also need overhauled gameplay. We
Oh,
need
the
so
the
many
game
things.
broke. Like we went
We
back.
need so many things year over year that what would bring me back is them canceling NHL 24 and them saying, "Hey, we're going to work on this game for a full year."
Dude, we can't, dude. That would cripple me. Like that's like the Tiger King
Eh,
meme. That would cripple me. Fine, I'm never gonna
I'm never going
financially
to
recover
financially
from
recover from
this.
this. Yeah, dude, like so I've been, we all love Twitter, right?
We
Today,
do.
we all love Twitter. Today, Henrik saying in his worst month ever on YouTube, don't be sods tweeting like, about the game. I go check the Twitch directory a few times over the past week. At some points, unless you're streaming, it's like 270 people watching NHL 23.
I mean, dude, even
Um,
personally, like, my numbers on Twitch, like they're the exact same or even a little bit lower than they were last year at this time.
a game hasn't died this early ever, like ever. And I am gonna say like the game's dying. Like the only reason people tune in is to see people they like.
Yeah.
That's it. Like you streamed Harry Potter, you had more viewers than you're getting for NHL right now,
That
I
was
think.
wild, personally. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was pretty eye opening. I lost viewers when I switched over to NHL.
Yeah, dude, because it's I mean, I'm not being like it's not like hyperbole. Like it's the worst game they've ever released. Like maybe EA's ever released. It's so bad and so much needs fixed. Like I'm shocked we
It's
haven't
crazy.
gotten an
Yeah, like in
apology.
22, we spent the majority of 22, and I hated the gameplay, but I could acknowledge that like it was difference of opinion, not that the gameplay was bad. That I just didn't enjoy simulation style, right? Like I felt like there was a lot less
Yeah,
creativity. You
yeah,
could,
we talked about that a lot.
yeah, yeah, and like this is broken animations. Like this is like not, we went back, and that's in gameplay. But the problem is that you compound the fact that like we in Hockey Ultimate Team with the same four modes, like exactly the same. Like I don't know how as a consumer we can expect to do that again. Like that's what I'm excited for because in 24, I'm cynical now. Like I am, I have a personal relationship with a lot of these developers, so like I don't think of them as some random name that like they're terrible, their jobs and all that. I hear the ins and outs, and I have appreciation for a lot of them. I cannot wait to see what gets pumped out in 24 because there has to be a new mode or there has to be a change in the cycle, something. So I'm excited for that because if there's not, like, I don't think that I think that it's been long enough now where people will be like, "What in the world?" They can't add a new Zegers flip in. First of all, there hasn't been anything new. Thank God, Zegers. Let's chill. And secondly, I really don't know what they could do. I think that gameplay can't get worse because it's not a. I don't think it's a issue of philosophy. I think it's like they literally didn't have enough time to technically
Didn't we
fix.
say that last year though? Didn't we say like, well, it can't be worse than
I
didn't
said
didn't we
that
say
because
it
it was a
can't be?
philosophy thing because like I didn't because Ben Ross was at the helm, right? So his vision for what the game was, right? Like at least it was complete. Like it was what it was. There was no glitches, but it led to um the only way you'd win unless you were an elite player. The only way to win consistently or to win would be a random shot just happens to go in. Like I don't know how many times I think I won or I lost every game 2-1. My goals against and my save percentage was like above 870, but I would be like, 3-1 in a span of 4 games. Like so like I didn't enjoy it the way it was, but
I don't think what they did this year is legal. I
I
don't.
don't
Like
either,
it's
bro. I
such
don't
an
think it wasn't
atrocity.
finished.
It's a crime against humanity what they did, and they just swept it under the rug like the Catholic Church, as Bill Burr would say. They just
Ah,
swept it under the rug like all those out. Like it's not legal. What's up, Padre?
I was just laughing. It's bad, man. I
The
miss you,
goal,
Ben
the goalie
Ross.
thing,
Come
like
back, Ben. We need you.
I know,
Save
man.
us, Ben.
The goalie thing is just that's so wild to me. We
That's
we we brought
if,
it
if
up
I
like
stop playing the game, that's what. If I was like Kessa, that's the thing I think is the biggest issue is the goalies. We've always had glitch goals. We've always had dumb goals going. We've always had dumb things we complain about. Broken animations, like whatever. But I will say there's a lot more this year. But the main thing that I feel like if you just got rid of like you just said, like Duncan
Do
Deli,
you
like you feel
think
like
that they could go and just make 22's goalies? Like,
think they
do you
can.
think that if they
Yeah.
were, no, do you think that
Yes.
like,
Why
man,
can't they?
yeah,
Why couldn't they?
I
It's the
wonder,
animations. You said it yourself.
yeah.
It's the human animations. Get rid of them. Give us back the goalies. If you put the goalies back in, I think I don't know what the game would be. I would love to see it.
I would
So
actually love to see that, yeah.
there's still the awful physics engine that was it
For
wasn't
sure.
Dude,
adjusted this
stick
year,
and
but it
physics,
broke.
I thought would be one of the biggest improvements to the game last year. Ben put it in, and I think it was finished enough, but it was still, you could tell it was in his first year. And the physics engine, like the stick and physics, was that the stick and the player is a separate layer, which is huge. You might not think it is, but it's huge because that's what, there's no sticks going through pads, sticks going through the boards, and then you get a delay because your stick shouldn't really be there, but it looks really bad. But like that's what's happening. So that wasn't in the game last year, but you got like the wacky inflatable tube men thing. This year, like, dude, they just removed it. They're like, we're good. Because sticks go through legs, pucks go through pads. Like, it's wild. It's wild. It is crazy. And then rivals and squad battles and champs is all exactly the same. Like, it's it's actually absurd.
Yeah,
Oh my god, it's so depressing. MLB's coming.
Yeah. See, I'm not a baseball person. I played it for a month last year, so I think I'm gonna skip it this year. But
Me and
like,
Stewie loved it.
yeah, like I'll probably play Harry Potter over the summer. I'll
You need to
probably
watch baseball to like it even more. Not to
That's
say you
the
need to
problem.
watch it.
Baseball's
can't.
hard
Not to say you
watch.
need to watch it all the time. It's just it's tough because the
can't.
Pirates suck. And like I feel like if the Pirates were like a fun thing to like watch, where like just here and there, like baseball's a great background noise thing too. Like you're doing your,
It is the other, like, dude.
you're
Even as a
making
Sox
dinner,
fan,
you got
bro,
the game
like,
on. You know,
as a
I don't
Sox
know.
fan, dude, like I have a hard time watching a regular season 9 inning game. Like I'll watch the starter go, and then by
Yeah.
like the 5th inning, man. But like, did you see the changes they made? By the way, they're implementing
Yes.
all the MLB ones, which I think are sick. Like, I saw a thing where it cut down average game time by 38 minutes, and all of the stats league wide were almost identical as the year before, which I thought was incredible. So the pitch
Yeah.
clock, the extra runner and extra innings, the universal DH, the no shifting. The no shifting is gonna be, dude. Bryce Harper is gonna win MVP, bro. Like no shift, bro.
I don't like the man on second, but then at the same time, I also don't like pitchers getting just gassed for the rest of the
Injured,
series.
yeah, like
Injuries, position players pitching, like just
my two
you
buddies
know.
were at that 19 inning game a couple years ago in Rogers Center. Like I believe that's the record.
And no
now.
one stays around for the games besides like a few people that are
Dude,
just getting
after
hammered.
16, you gotta stay. Like,
Yeah.
you see 2 games in 1, you gotta stay.
But I think Kesso, like if you just don't love baseball in general, like I don't blame you. Like I get it. It's just there's something about that game with like the team build. I don't know. It's just it
Dude,
draws you
the
in.
It's a great
offline
game.
moments and the grinding of a specific player. That's
That's
what
what I
is.
enjoyed. That's what I played last year.
It's
I
like an
played it for a
RPG,
month.
man. It's like
Yeah.
what a video game. I think that's it. It's like literally what a video game is. You start out with a bronze card, and it's like do these moments with that player, and it's like if you want to pay attention, sure, you mindlessly do them, and then it's like hit home runs, do stuff with these cards.
Dude, and I had so much fun, like especially Conquest mode. Like
Yeah,
I had a
it's
lot of fun. I'm just not going to get into it again.
It's a good game to like also Kesso because I know Sleazy streams it, but it's a good game to like sit in the Discord with us and just like we all play at the same time.
It's a
We're
good
all,
work game because you can pause.
yeah, and it's good just like conversing about it. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. And like you don't have to like hyper focus like NHL where it's hold on, let me lock in here and I can't talk. Like I don't know. It's just a good game to like grind with your buddies.
I'll be very curious at the directory and the overall view. Like I watched like I said, I watch views of other creators, not as individual in a view on like a video by video, but like I just take a look and then I compare to last year to see what the actual, not compare myself, I guess compare myself, but just to see like the actual numbers in it. Dude, it's concerned. There's no way that they are not that the NHL is not like in the video game did far less sales. I wish we could see that number.
I want them to feel the pain though, because it's like
Yeah.
at some point change has to happen, but it's not going to happen because they're stubborn.
Yeah,
And
wild.
dude, and it's so frustrating because it's like we told them these things, right? But it's like, why are we going to listen to those guys? Because like we know everything because we're the executives here.
Dude,
Why would we listen to these idiots?
Bro, the behind the rap, bro. That's an all timer. Like that'll go down in history as one of the most insane. Like that was a game. The game is if you were to ask the casual player that plays, a champs run every week, like what the most annoying thing is, or they're in division, even not in Division 1, like anywhere, like Division 4 and below, it's like, dude, the quick wrap. Like,
dude, and everybody knows it, right? Like, dude, and everybody last year the Pogues goal was something that like
but
only a
it's
few
hard.
people
Like, you
did.
had to set it up. It wasn't easy.
Dude, now everybody does it. And it sucks, dude. As like somebody that's like I'm playing casually right now, right? Like 20 games maybe over the past month. And no matter who I play against online, they all play the same way.
In
'Cause
Division 1, absolutely.
yeah, and even like Hut Champs games sometimes too. Like,
Yep.
it's not a fun experience.
Nope. Well, hopefully,
Rest
next
in
episode
peace,
will be
EA
more
Sports,
chipper.
NHL. No, we
Next-
won't. No, we won't.
It won't be. But we love you for listening. And, Kay, vent. Boys, vent in the chat. Because
And go to Sleazy's new website. It's
yeah,
we
go to
didn't-
Hut
we
Hub,
didn't-
man. No, but
we didn't promote that because you're out of town. If anybody doesn't know, Sleazy made an unreal website on leaguegaming.com for like all your Hut needs, your esport needs. It's just gonna get better and better and better
paid
too.
sponsor. Look at this. I like that.
Well, I'm just saying, like it's gonna get better. Like we're gonna have the podcast on there. We're gonna have anything,
Sure.
anything you guys think is a good idea. Sleazy will listen to it.
He's gonna do it himself too. It'll
Tris
be
fixed
on the
it.
website
Dude,
within 1
there's
day.
so many. What's wild is like somebody will hop in the Discord for it, and they'll be like, "Hey, it'd be cool if you could do this," and Tristan would be like, "All right," and then like by 3 p.m. it was like in there.
Yep.
Dude, this is like not a lot of people have realized this though. If you click on an individual card and you're signed in, you can literally leave a comment about that card, and you can go through and see what people are saying like about the card, which I thought was really cool. And Tris just did that when I was gone. I was like, okay.
I wish I could leave on an Eichel card the Duncan Deli clip where he's screaming, "Eichel, pick up the puck! Pick up the puck!" Like I wish I could just like leave a
Imagine,
clip
like,
of that,
leaving a video.
like leaving different videos of people yelling at players in their team.
All right, fellas. Well, another banger episode, but yeah, like guys, vent in the comment section. It makes us feel like we're not insane. All right, but
Yeah.
fellas, until next time, we'll see ya. Have a good one.